week, I will do a poll, and you can vote on which one you want, and that'll be the one that I will make when we get back from the next ad break. Okay. So, now some Sadducees who contend that there is no resurrection came to him. The remark is best regarded as a parenthetical note by the author. Yes, and you telling us that is unnecessary. Yeah, 2 hours earlier. I had it with somebody before that it was exactly to the year. It was 3 years exactly that I've been following someone, which was pretty funny. They asked him, "Teacher, Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies leaving a wife but no children, that man must marry the widow and father children for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first married a woman and died without children. The second and then the third married her, and in the same way all 7 died, leaving no children. Finally, the woman died too. In the resurrection, therefore, whose wife will the woman be? For all 7 had married her." So they're setting up for him to make an argument about something that they don't believe is even possible. So you're setting a trap, playing into the, well, you obviously believe this. You obviously agree with us. You would go with it. It's like, whoo. Oh, you found me thanks to I'm Watching You people? Really? Because, I swore that early on when I started streaming that rated you with Ukulele for Worship often. But maybe my memory's bad. Regardless, I love hanging out. Okay. So Jesus said to them, "The people of this age marry and are given in marriage, but those who are regarded as worthy to share in the age and in the resurrection from the dead neither marry nor are given in marriage. In fact, they can no longer die because they are equal to angels and are sons of God since they are sons of the resurrection." Okay, equal to angels. Angels do not die, neither do they eat, according to Jewish tradition. Okay, so we're just adding that. You found Ukulele from her too? Really? Huh. Okay. I thought longer ago that Ukulele was rating you, but maybe my memory's bad. Oh well, doesn't matter. Making connections is fun anyway. But even Moses revealed that the dead are raised in the passage about the bush, where he calls the Lord the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Now he is not God of the dead, but God of the living, for all live before him. Then some of the experts in the law answered, "Teacher, you have spoken well." For they did not dare any longer to ask him anything. So we've got people challenging Jesus on the resurrection. Whose wife will she be? The other gospels answer the question a little bit differently, but the point of this is they're trying to trap him in a thing about the resurrection. What we clearly understand here, there is no need for marriage in the resurrection because the point of filling the earth and subduing it by procreation and leaving generations behind us will not be necessary because all will be raised who will be here, and we won't need to do that. So there is no need to give into marriage. So you're making an assumption we'll be in an a state more similar to angels. We will be in that state. We will not need to have anything that we are lacking. So it's a totally different scenario. So you're just in the wrong game. You're in the wrong connection. You're thinking of things wrong. Okay. I think Paul talks about this too, like a seed dying, or maybe Jesus does. A seed dying and then it grows. Well, look at an acorn. An acorn doesn't look anything like a tree. It doesn't. It just doesn't. A maple leaf doesn't look, I mean, there's a seed there. I can see that. It doesn't look like a tree. Corn and beans aren't a good example because they grow up and look like what you plant, but trees don't. Trees don't look like what you're going to. The fruit of a tree, an apple, doesn't look like an apple tree. The seed inside doesn't look like an apple tree. A pear, a peach, they don't look like the tree. So, you know, something buried in the ground is going to grow into something different. And it's this realm, in this era, and this time is now. And in the future, it's going to be vastly different. So don't confuse and conflate the two. So it doesn't help me to understand, and there's a different question, which gets answered by Jesus in the other Gospels, so I don't want to fully bring it in here, but there won't be marriage or given to marriage. So whose wife will she be? It won't be a necessary thing, but then that makes me go, but I love the relationship with my wife. Will I not have that? I mean, on some level, yes, but it won't necessarily be from a need for marriage. So I don't know how it works. It's kind of confusing a little bit. Crusader. You all are so early for us Californians along with ukulele. Oh, yes. A pineapple is not an apple that comes from a pine tree. Omega? Very nicely put. Very nicely put. Crusader, yeah. But also, on the other side of that, people that stream in the evening, and then if you're going to stream in the evening in California, man, I am not going to be up at 3 in the morning watching you. Not going to be up. Yeah, nice to catch you when you can. Absolutely. Well, today, Streamiversary, I'm going till, well, let's see. We've got another 8 hours to go. We've got another 8 hours to go, everybody. We won't be doing Bible that whole time. We're just doing a little extra Bible. And I felt like I wanted to continue this section up until we get to the Passover. So all these teachings as he's entering Jerusalem felt like a good thing to continue. We should be getting close to the end of that, I think. But he said to them, so they've stopped challenging him and they can't respond to his teaching anymore. So now he's going to directly go and teach them. Workout too? No, I only did the workouts for 90 days as a rule. However, the month of September, I hope to get 500 miles of bike riding in and live stream every mile of it. So hopefully that will work. We will find out. I've done a couple of test runs. They seem to be okay, but we'll see. We'll see how that all handles it. Okay. But he said to them, how is it that you say that the Christ is David's son? For David himself said in the book of Psalms, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. If, if David calls him Lord, how can he be his son? Okay. So when people are talking about scripture contradicting itself, it only contradicts itself if you take everything in it literally and only literally. Then you have lots of conflicts. I'm not here trying to take it literally, to lay it out and say all these things happen exactly as it says. No, it is trying to teach, and it is wisdom, and it is beneficial. So I'm not here trying to take Genesis and say, well, it's a science book. It wasn't written as a science book. And I'm not trying to take the Psalms and say the Psalms are literal. The Psalms are metaphorical. Okay? So when I understand them in that, oh yeah, there's a metaphor here. What's the meaning of the metaphor? That's what I should be seeking and trying to figure out. Okay. As all the people were listening, Jesus said to his disciples, "Beware of the experts in the law. They like walking around in long robes, and they love elaborate greetings in the marketplace, and the best seats in the synagogue, and the places of honor at banquets." So, how do you know? Let me count how many there are. Long robes, love extravagant greetings in the marketplace, the best seats in the synagogue, and the places of honor at banquets. They devour widows' property, and as they make long prayers. 6, the number of man. They will receive a more severe punishment. Woo! Jesus was said to be a carpenter, but that doesn't mean that he'll literally turn his enemies into a footstool. That's just grim. Oh, Omega. I've never thought about that one, of a literal turning into a footstool. Ooh, don't want that. Omega, maybe cycle to build up the endurance before the event to avoid pulling any muscles. Yeah, I do. I just haven't been streaming all of those, and I haven't been streaming or riding as much as I would like. Oh, he's not done. Okay, we'll go a little more. Maybe one more chapter until he finishes. Jesus looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the offering, but he also saw a poor widow put in 2 small copper coins. He said, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put in more than all of them. For they all offered their gifts out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything she had to live on." This one has always been so convicting to me, because I have so much. Now, on the level of I have so much, well, I have bills to pay, and I have to pay the bills, and I've got to stay, in my house, then I got to do all of that. So what do I give? Well, I try to not make my giving dependent upon making sure I pay my bills. I try to make my giving based on what I feel compelled to give, what I would like to do, and give to various different places and various different people. And then on top of that, give additional giving whenever I feel led to, so that I don't get into a rut removed from my giving. So, Crusaders, so in eternal hellfire with weeping and gnashing of teeth, metaphorical. I'm going to say yes, but it also could be actual. So if you're trying to describe in human terms something for us to understand what condemnation is going to be like, it's a pretty strong and good metaphor. What if instead it's actually freezing ice or cold water or molten lava, or metaphorically, yes, there's going to be torment. Absolutely. The weeping and gnashing of teeth. Yeah, that's going to be. But there's other descriptors as well. And when you put all of them on top of each other, it's meant to tell us the seriousness of it. It might be actual that it's that way, but I'm not going to limit God to actually having to do it that way, because maybe the burning bush, was it literal fire? Was it that it produced actual heat? Did it produce actual light? The pillar of cloud and the pillar of smoke, what were they actually? Without actually seeing things when you describe them, you sometimes have words that fail to fully do that. So I'm fine with it being literal. I'm fine with it being metaphorical. I'm fine with it being some combination of the two. So not avoiding, but I'm persuaded that it's real. I'm not persuaded. I need to understand how it's real. If that makes sense. But yeah, out of poverty giving all you have. Now, while some were speaking about the temple, how it was adorned with beautiful stones and offerings, Jesus said, As for the things that you are gazing at, the day will come when not one stone will